Hello BookTube. Today for Tag Thursday, I will be doing the Historathon Middle Ages and Golden Age book tag. This tag was created by the Rambling Raconteur and I was tagged by Aaron Hook. So this tag is the sequel tag to a tag that came out earlier this year. I'm blanking on the exact name of it right now. But it's part of Historathon. Historathon is a year-long reading event created by Revenant Reads and hosted by a number of other booktubers, in which participants read nonfiction, historical nonfiction, throughout the course of the year, and it's broken down into 4 period quarters. So this one is focused on the years 500 to 1500, CE or AD, however you want to do the dating on it, or the appellation at the end. Anyway, let's get going. So, prompt number 1, the Holy Roman Empire. Name a book that has a title or first sentence that is a lie. So, I actually struggled with this, because I'm thinking, what book do I have has a lie in the title? That is, title is a lie, or the first sentence is a lie. And I came to Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. It's not a book I have. I haven't had that book in a very long time, and it's never going to come back into my collection because I don't really like it. So, I mean, and its first sentence is a lie. I mean, there's no guarantee. I can't quote it verbatim, but I mean, there's no guarantee that a man of some wealth is going to immediately want a wife. He might want more than one. He might want somebody else. He might not want anybody. So, go with that. But before I actually did this tag, I was looking over at the history wall. And one of the books, the title is The First Kingdom by Max Adams. Yeah, it's Max Adams. And while the subtitle probably will refer to the Anglo-Saxon kingdom, but I mean, of course, referring to the Anglo-Saxon kingdom, I mean, that's a lie, because that's not the first kingdom. The first kingdom would have been Uruk or Ur. So that's a lie. So I'll go with both Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen and The First Kingdom by Max Adams for this one. Although I haven't actually read The First Kingdom yet. I really need to, I think, next month if I have some time. I'll try to get it in then. I'm being swamped by all my reading plans. Anyway, okay. Prompt number 2, the Mayans. What is your favorite month of the year for reading? So, I don't really have a favorite month for reading. Pretty much every month is roughly the same for reading. Although, maybe the month, maybe depending on the genre. Some months are better for certain genres than others, but that also can change throughout the year. So, yeah, there isn't really one single month that is absolutely great for reading. They're all great for reading, except for maybe January. I usually have some issues with January, except for this past year, but that's because I read Fairy Tale. So, prompt number 3, the Pāla Empire. Name a book or writer that marked the end of an era. Marked the end of an era. I don't know. mark the end. I'm not thinking of anything here. I guess maybe a writer's last book, so maybe like Curtain or The Sleeping Murder by Agatha Christie. I mean, because those were her last books, even though they'd been written decades before, but it also capped an end of an era of like Agatha Christie novels a year, and also a certain style of mysteries that maybe have become a bit more pastiche subsequently. I don't know. I'm not really all that up on contemporary mysteries. So I guess I'll go with that. Sorry for the long sort of pause here. I really wasn't quite prepared for that question. Prompt number 4, the Vikings. Whose library on BookTube would you want to raid? Steve Donahue. I would like to raid Hyde Cottage. Possibly Vaughn Manor as well, if I had like a second choice. Prompt number 5, the Inca Empire. What work is at the pinnacle of its genre? For this, I'm going to go with One Piece by Eiichiro Oda. It has been for a very long time one of the most popular manga series in the world. It's really defined an entire generation of manga writing, I would think. So I'll go with that. Prompt number 6, the Abbasid Caliphate. Who is your favorite writer on science or mathematics? I'm not as well read on science and mathematics as I would like to be. So my answer here would have to be Michio Kaku, who's done a number of books on sort of science fiction themes and their plausibility. Prompt number 7, Byzantium. Name a work that you couldn't stop reading despite it being confusing. So for this, I'm going to go with Is there a book I've read that has been a bit confusing? I would say maybe Fire and Blood by Enzo Traverso, but that's more dense than confusing. I don't know really if there's any histories that really fit the bill. Probably have to be more like fiction, but it's a really confusing fiction work that I couldn't stop reading despite it being confusing. I guess maybe Hurricane Season by Fernanda Melchor. I think I'll go with that one. I think that one was fairly confusing at points. And surprisingly, I did manage to read it. So I'll go with that one, and I'll remember or try to remember to add the translator's name at the alongside too. Okay, prompt number 8, the Song Dynasty. What culture from 500 to 1500 CE are you interested in learning more about? Well, the Song, the Tong. I really would like a big narrative or targeted. Okay, let me rephrase though. I would really love a big narrative dynastic history of China that just focused on like one dynasty rather than like the whole of Chinese history. I'm not entirely sure if such a book exists. I know I mentioned last week that one of the books I did have really is more of a placeholder, and I'll talk a bit more about that tomorrow evening with weekly reads, because I have some thoughts about that. But I would go with like the Song, the Tong, Byzantium. I'd love to learn more about them. A whole bunch of other places as well. Prompt number 9, the Pāla Empire. Name a book that helps readers appreciate the cultural heritage of Africa. So this one here, I don't really have a satisfying answer, I don't think, because I'm not as well read on African history and African literature as I would like to be, and so I don't really have a satisfying answer. So I'll have to pass. And finally, prompt number 10, the Merovingians. What is your favorite pop culture reference to this period? So that would be I think The Legend of the Condor Heroes by Jin Yong. It's a long, epic historical novel about the life of, well, basically it's during the Mongol conquest of China. The Legend of the Condor Heroes takes place during the Mongol conquest of the Jin Empire. At the time, China was divided into two states, largely. There was the northern Jin Empire and then the southern remnant of the Song Dynasty. And gradually, Genghis Khan conquered the Jin Empire, while a subsequent generation of Mongols conquered the southern Song Dynasty, which would then become the Yuan Dynasty. And so Legend of the Condor Heroes is about two young men whose fathers were very close friends, who were sworn to be blood brothers in utero. However, a Jin prince fell in love with one of these men, at the point they were fetuses, mother, and orchestrated an attack on their home village, and the two were eventually separated, one of whom would be adopted as a Jin prince, and he becomes sort of one of the villains of the series or book, because it's in 3 volumes. And then the other one, his mother escapes to Mongolia, and he becomes sort of an adoptive son of Genghis Khan. And later he learns martial arts and becomes one of the great martial artists. And yeah. So I think I'll go with that. I'd also maybe go with The 7 Deadly Sins by Nakaba Suzuki. It's a manga series that draws heavy inspiration from the Arthurian legends. And I guess maybe, even though it's been a while since I've read it, and this is probably going to be a kick in the pants for me to start with it again, Magic the Labyrinth of Magic by Shinobu Otaka, which draws inspiration from the 1001 Nights and Middle Eastern culture. So I'll go with that. So anyway, that was the Historathon Middle Ages and Golden Age book tag. If you'd like to do this tag, consider yourselves tagged. I will be back tomorrow, probably with another tag video earlier on Friday, and then weekly reads in the evening. So until then, BookTube, thank you. Have a great afternoon and stay safe.